Hey everyone, Ashley here. Welcome to Ashley Talks Movies, and welcome to my review of The Fabelmans. Directed by Steven Spielberg, The Fabelmans essentially tells the story of Spielberg's life. The film centers around a young boy named Sammy Fabelman, the stand-in for Spielberg, who at a young age develops a love of movies and filmmaking. Now, before I get into the review, a few things. If you like the channel, please subscribe by hitting that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. Also hit that notification button so you don't miss any of the videos that I'm posting. Time for the review. The Fabelmans is the type of movie that will resonate with anyone. Whether you love movies, have a love of filmmaking, want to be a filmmaker, or even if you're not interested in filmmaking at all. It's a story about Steven Spielberg's life, but again, it's very relatable. Anyone who has ever had a passion for something and faced opposition when trying to pursue it will see themselves in Sammy Fabelman, a kid who just wants to make movies, even when things around him make that very difficult to do. And this is the part of the review where I talk about the family dynamic in this movie, because that's really the heart of a lot of this. Yes, it's about Steven Spielberg's life and what led him to become a director, the director that we all know today. But at the heart of it is really how that family dynamic shaped him and shaped the films that he eventually would go on to make. So it's very fascinating watching this part of the film because it does such a great job of showing how Sammy's family handles his filmmaking journey, especially when it comes to his parents, who are just polar opposites in personality, and as well as how they support or don't support their son. You have Michelle Williams playing Sammy's mother, who is this artsy type, and she's very, creative, and very dramatic. And Michelle Williams puts in probably one of the best performances of her career in this film. And her performance, her portrayal of this woman who, again, is just, sort of very eccentric in a lot of ways, who is an early supporter of Sammy in his filmmaking pursuits. To watch Michelle Williams is just very fascinating, and she does such an amazing job of bringing this character to life. And then you have Paul Dano, who plays Sammy's father, who is more of the technical type. He's a science guy. He's science-minded. He's more along the lines of logical thinking, right? Like, things have to make sense. And so for him, Sammy's filmmaking pursuits are, a nice little hobby. It's something cool that, his kid does, but he doesn't see that as a career. And those two are always at odds with each other over that. And Paul Dano plays this character so well because it's a very subtle kind of performance. This character is a very quiet, at times passive person, and Paul Dano plays that type of character so well in this film. I mentioned the family dynamic because, again, it's at the heart of the film, and it's also the source of the emotional beats in this story. Like the pull on your heartstrings moments, the things that sort of make you well up and feel something really come from the family dynamic and how it's shown in this film. Now, if you're a Steven Spielberg fan and you've seen his other films like E.T. or Close Encounters of the Third Kind or even Indiana Jones, there are references to those films embedded within this movie. Now, that's not the point. The point of this movie is not to be sort of like, looking for Steven Spielberg movie references throughout it. But it was a nice little touch. What I will say is what this film does do in regards to that is show you how different aspects of Spielberg's life, again, Sammy Fabelman's life in the film, different aspects of his life eventually made its way into his films, the films that we have seen, the films that we know and love today. Now, I really enjoyed this film. I really enjoyed The Fabelmans. A lot of what was in this movie resonated with me. And, it's a movie about someone who loves movies and who had a passion for it at a very young age. And so if you, as I said at the beginning of my review, if you're someone who has ever had a passion for anything, but especially if you've had a passion for movies or filmmaking, a lot of what's in this movie will resonate with you. And it certainly did with me. I mean, I have a YouTube channel where I talk about movies because I love movies so much. I mean, there you go. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed this film. Now, I know there will be some people who will probably feel like this movie is overly sentimental, or maybe even a little self-indulgent. And I can completely understand people who feel that way about this movie. And I will say, I do feel this movie is way too long. It's way too long. But I mean, it's Steven Spielberg and it's about his life, so I guess he can make the movie however long he wants. With that being said, I do think that whether or not you like this movie, whether or not you like The Fabelmans, if you watch it, I think it will help you have a better understanding of Steven Spielberg, and the things that inspired him. So that's my review of The Fabelmans. If you've had a chance to watch the film and you want to share your thoughts, you can do so in the comment section below. While you're here, like this video, hit the thumbs up button, and don't forget to subscribe so you see more videos like this.